Pro Football Hall of Famer from Football Night in America on NBC, Tony Dungy. How are you, Tony?
Hey, Rich, I'm doing well. And first of all, let me tell you, I'm running out of power on my phone.
Uh-oh.
So if I hang up on you, it's not because I don't love you. It's because I ran out of power.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so then let's get right to it in this Honda Insider Report with Tony Dungy. Okay, and if we lose you, we lose you. What do you think of the hires, starting with Matt Rhule in Carolina, Tony?
You know, I'm one who firmly believes if a team does their research and they zero in on their guy for the right reasons, then God bless and make it work. I remember when John Harbaugh got hired and people said, oh, a special teams coach, and this doesn't make sense. And Ozzie Newsome knew exactly what he wanted, and it's been great. So, these are a little bit out of the box, Matt Rhule and Joe Judge. But, hey, I really trust people making decisions, and if they're doing it because it's what they want, then let it go.
Well, I mean, as you mentioned, Joe Judge, at least Rhule comes into Carolina, and Carolina fans have heard of Rhule, and they've seen him, and they've also read all the papers saying what a hot coaching candidate he is. Giants fans are probably looking up Joe Judge, this Judge, to see if he's related to Wapner or Judy, you know?
Right.
So,
but you know what? That's not all bad sometimes. I remember a lot of people saying, who is Chuck Noll? Who is Mike Tomlin? And, we'll find out. There's plenty of time to find out.
Tony Dungy here on the Rich Eisen Show. What was your challenge when you went to become a head coach for the first time, Tony? Obviously, you had a ton of NFL experience, even playing for somebody like Noll. But what is the challenge for guys who have never done it before?
The biggest challenge is selling the players and everybody in the building on your beliefs and having them gain confidence in you. I had 15 years as an assistant, but still no track record as an NFL head coach, and so there's always a little skepticism. It was much easier for me the second time at Tampa or at Indy for sure, but selling yourself to it, believe in my system, and getting your assistants, everybody else in the building on board. That's going to be the challenge for these two guys for sure. Tony
Dungy here on the Rich Eisen Show. What do you think? What do you think Matt Rhule can bring? I mean, I don't know how much Baylor football you've watched, but
creativity. And Matt, he knows the NFL, and he's going to bring this creative offense and excitement and energy, and they're going to move the football. What the challenge is, okay, how does that translate to the whole team and running everything and creating that vibe, not only on the offense, but the defense, the special teams, in the scouting department, everywhere. That's what he's going to have to do. But I think he's going to do just what Cliff Kingsbury did and bring an offense that's going to be different and unique and a different skill set.
And then what's your best guess that Joe Judge would bring to Daniel Jones? And I imagine whatever plan he had for Jones is what helped sell him in the room, along with being from a Saban and Belichick system. But what can you give any idea or any insider thought on what that might look like?
Well, I've been with some great special teams coaches, and the one thing about them is they do talk to the whole team, and they do get in front of everybody, and they connect with every single player. So that is what he's got going for him, and that pedigree that, hey, here's how we did it, here's how we put together this Super Bowl run. We have a blueprint of how to win. Now, we've got to put the pieces together, but, hey, I know how to win.
What do you think Brady's going to do, Tony?
The one thing I know he's not going to do is retire. He wants to play 3 more years. He doesn't want to go out on an off year. As I said, I never thought Peyton Manning would play in another uniform besides that Colts horseshoe. And he went out to Denver and had some great years and won a Super Bowl out there and led the league in passing. And if worse comes to worse, I think Tom will do that. He'll go somewhere else and set a very high standard. If I were Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick right now, I would say we want Tom Brady back. The ball is is in his court. We want him back. We need him here. And make Tom Brady say, no, I don't want to play here before he's able to go anyplace else.
Well, if he does go someplace else, where do you think would be a viable stop for him that would fit what he's looking for in terms of weaponry that he did not have this year and opportunity to win a Super Bowl that he's come accustomed to?
As crazy as it sounds, the best spot might be Indianapolis. You believe it or not. I know they've been bitter rivals, but they've got good young receivers, a lot of speed. They've got a great running back. They've got a tremendous offensive line. They've got a defense in place. Jacoby Brissett started off playing hot, but there's no established quarterback there, and they've got a lot of weaponry. And they were a playoff team last year. So that one, to me, is as close as anyone. Now, whether he would, consider that, I don't know. But that would be a spot like that I'd look for if I were him.
Yeah, TB12 walking past a statue of Peyton Manning to go to work on game day would be interesting, but
would be a little crazy.
But you also, speaking of, I guess, a little bit crazy, you know Jim Irsay. So do you think that he and Chris Ballard and Frank Reich might actually put their heads together and say, this is feasible? Let's see if new league year hits and TB12 is available. Let's go for it.
I tell you what, if I were sitting there with the team that I have right now, and Tom said he was interested, I would definitely, I would try to make it happen.
I bet you that makes sense. A few more minutes left here with Tony Dungy. The best team left in the 8-team now tournament for Lombardi Trophy is which?
Well, I like Baltimore. You just look at what they've done. They've been so tough to defend. That defense is humming. They have the home field advantage. I think they're going to be very, very hard to beat.
Well, and you're doing NBC, the coverage of Vikings and 49ers. How do you see that one playing out now that Kirk Cousins has kind of gotten his first major? We saw what happened with Phil Mickelson when he finally won his first. I'm wondering, obviously that's, he doesn't have the Lombardi Trophy like a green jacket that Phil had, but just the monkey off the back, if you will, Tony. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and they did something I didn't think could be done. Them going into New Orleans and winning it in the Dome. And Kirk Cousins has played pretty well when he's had his full complement of people with him. And this past game was the first time in a long time that they had Cook, Thielen, and Diggs all together. And they played very good. If they can have that group together, they've got a chance to go into San Francisco and pull this off.
And then last one for you here, Tony. You've been very vocal about it all year long on my show, on yours with Tirico and the crew, Football Night in America. If the league reached out to you, competition committee reached out to you and say, what should we do with the rule that we created that makes pass interference reviewable, you would say what? Get
rid of it yesterday. It's a mess. Trying to review judgment and then have someone be the ultimate authority of, well, my judgment is going to trump the judgment of the guys on the field. I just don't like that. It's been a catastrophe all year. Now we had the one opportunity to see it in place in New Orleans on the last play of the game. Clearly offensive pass interference, and it wasn't overturned. I don't know how they overturn one now going forward.
Well, what about the idea of, the catch rule was a total mess because there really was no rule. For years, the league basically said, read the rule book. It's right there, everybody. And then they finally did codify it in a way that we have gotten rid of the catch, not a catch problem. What about coming up with an actual standard for which pass interference would be reviewed and called, as opposed to what happened this year? I think that if that gets handled, then maybe we can have this safety net that's appropriately applied.
Well, the problem is the wording, materially restrict an offensive or defensive player. Well, what does that mean? What is materially restrict? And my judgment of what is material is different. Obviously, the league office didn't feel like Kyle Rudolph materially hindered P.J. Williams on Sunday, but he did. And so it's judgment. It's a gray area. It's always going to be that way. And I think there's no way you're going to make it perfect.
Tony, we made it through the segment with you not needing to recharge your phone. So
that's the power of prayer.
You know what? And we should get a Rich Eisen show Mophie to Tony Dungy. So you can get one of those things, just plug it right in, and you can
make it official.
You make it,
with me. But I would love a Rich Eisen one. So send me one.
You got it, Tony. Awesome. I hope to see you soon. Always enjoy our chats.
Always great to be with you, Rich.
Right back at you. That's Tony Dungy, Pro Football Hall of Famer.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.